So welcome to U Version 2 podcast with me, Brendan McCauley. And today we have fantastic guest, Pamela Pearson. Pamela, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me here today. Such a purposeful mission that you're doing and really aligns with my heart. So I am Pamela Pearson. I am the abundance catalyst. So I work with women who desire to have more abundance in their life. And that's health, wealth, joy, love, career success, not money, but that feeling and that vibration of abundance. But oftentimes they're really unaware of the blocks that are holding them back. And I help change that. So blending energy and mindset and spiritual teachings with my corporate background and leadership skills to help them clear out energy blocks, limiting beliefs, and the inherited patterns that they've developed over time to awaken them to their inner power. So really to awaken, to get unstuck and move into inspired action so they can begin to create the life that they truly desire. So that's my mission and purpose, one woman at a time.
Fantastic. It's great to have that mission and purpose to share with others. And I look forward to learning from your experiences and listening to your journey today. And hopefully our audience listening will pick up on some tips and tricks that they can implement in their lives in a small way, because I personally believe it's the small things in life that have the big changes, as opposed to waiting for some big change to impact our life. You know, those crisis moments, I don't think are the best things for us.
Absolutely. I just responded to a client today. They were saying, well, this isn't a really big win. And I said, everything is a big win, because it's those little moments that add up over time. There's no like big bang theory here. It's about the small changes that we make every day that connect together and create the puzzle of our lives. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah. And even in my own walk in life, it's such a realization of some of the simplest things, the simplest statements, the simplest words that we've heard in ancient texts. They're just so simple. We sort of brush them off, but when we actually implement them and do them, it makes so much sense. You know, like help others, love one another. When you actually start doing that, the impact is powerful.
Man, it feels good.
So Pamela, a simple question I'd like to ask you just to get the conversation going. What does happiness mean to you?
Oh, such a good question. You know, when I think about happiness, I really believe that happiness is an inside job, and you may hear that statement, but happiness is what lights up my inner fire. It's not anything outside of myself, right? If we look at, I talked about love, joy, abundance, it's a vibrational energy that is something that, regardless of the circumstances outside of myself, that I can feel happiness, I can feel joy, I can feel satisfaction and fulfillment. And I think all of those tie together, but really being able to weather the storms of my life and still have a choice to be happy. I was just looking at the bluebirds outside my office window before we started chatting.
And just before you said that, I saw the binoculars and I was going to ask you, would you use them for bird watching? And you just answered.
Yes, absolutely. And I look outside and I see, and I made a choice in the moment to stop and pause. And when we have that happiness, you can feel it. You can feel it in your body. You can feel your heart expand. And, that's why marketing uses like babies and puppies and things like that, because you look and you can resonate and you feel the energy of that purity, that authenticity, and that love. Mm-hmm. So for me, happiness is a choice to make in any given moment, regardless of my outside circumstances, to bring myself into vibrational harmony with who I truly am and what I truly desire.
Fantastic. And can you recount the last time you were really, really happy?
Okay, this is funny. I'm really passionate about dogs. And over the past couple of years, I found this rescue organization, and I have adopted and placed out, I think, 7 Bernese Mountain Dogs, or Bernedoodles. So just recently, I had 3 puppies that got rehomed. And a coincidence, I ran into one of them at the dog store, at the pet store the other day, and my heart just exploded. I saw the puppy and I remembered, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so it wasn't like a miracle dropped into my life, but it was just that moment of connection and something that brings me joy and happiness, because I saw the joy on the man's face who adopted him, and he was telling me the
Yes,
stories of
yes.
what his daughter is now doing with the puppy and the love that it's brought to the family. So that filled my heart up. So that was just, I think, 2 days ago, to have that reunion of sorts, of that true explosion of happiness and joy in my heart.
Fantastic.
And
The
even just,
more,
just before we started looking at the bluebirds outside, it's the same feeling. Like,
absolutely.
I know you were saying, being where you're living, just connecting with nature. There's so much that we can see in nature, the cycles of nature and the joy and the happiness that resonates in nature. And it's just a
But
joy.
something that I don't know whether it was just the world playing tricks on me, but back in Ireland, when I had to get up early in the morning, leave while everyone else was sleeping and go to work, whether it's driving around the country to go to different projects or whatever, I had an alarm clock on my phone, and the alarm clock was bird singing. Now, it's one of those ones that it slowly gets louder and louder.
Yeah.
And where I live now, I swear, the birds sing the same bloody way, and they wake me up without even having to listen to my phone. Obviously, they wake up at different times of the year with the seasons, but it's just the birds singing in the morning. It's just so beautiful. And then in the evening, I was, before we had a conversation, I was outside just having a break, and because the springs arrived, so I put the hammock back up. I was just lying there watching the sun come down, and the birds were singing. And just those 5-10 minutes, whatever, they're magical. You need them.
Well,
We need those
you
breaks.
manifested that by having that as your alarm clock, because then it appeared in your life. So that's amazing. I totally get it.
I thought about it a while. I was like, what the heck, so what else should I do that maybe will happen in my life in
Yeah,
the
right.
future?
Absolutely want to do that one.
Yeah, start a good habit somewhere.
Yeah.
So in relation to, we talked about things that make you happy, and seeing other people, you give joy into their lives with the dog, etc. But can happiness fade away over time?
That's an interesting question. As I said, I think happiness is a choice. We have a choice in any given moment. And that doesn't mean that every moment of every day I'm at the same state of happiness. I am probably not at the same state of happiness when I'm doing my taxes. But I look at it and I try to find call it the silver lining. I try to find what the joy in it is. And I say, I am so blessed and so grateful that I have a thriving business that I enjoy, where I can help people transform. So when I do my taxes, in the moment, I can be focused and remember. It's kind of bringing the practice of gratitude in, that happiness comes. So I would say, if I was at the same state of happiness every single day, no matter how high it was, it might get a little vanilla, because there's, it's like the merry-go-round versus the roller coaster. So I would say that if it's fading away, then you want to take a step back and take a reflection on the choices and decisions and feelings and thoughts that you have in your life. And you may be in a lull, but if you keep going down and it continues to fade away, then for me, that's a sign that I need to decide to do something different.
Yeah. And I've had this conversation with a few others, that if we don't have those down moments like in the roller coaster, how on earth are we able to appreciate the great moments? I don't think we can stay on that constant high level. As you say, vanilla, we won't appreciate it as much.
We have some really good vanilla ice cream around here, but it becomes contrast. Life is meant to be about contrast. The highs and lows, the peaks and the valleys. I mean, people really get excited when they go on the roller coasters, right? But it's just when you're staying and you're going down and down and down that you need to awaken to something different. That's a sign, if you continue to feel the happiness fading away, that maybe something in your life isn't truly in alignment with what your values or your desires are. So take a step back. I see so many people who say, oh, I hate my job. I've got to drag myself to work every day.
Yeah.
And I just say, is there anything that you can find joy in it? Because I've certainly had jobs that I found more joy than others. And I try to look at what is serving me with this job. And if I'm really, truly not aligned with it, I think happiness comes from alignment, then I need to change something. And that's a choice too.
Like, and even today, I'm working with some colleagues, and we're having to prepare, tenders for clients. And this quarter has been quite a busy, intense. Sorry, the sun's shining on me, so you have to forgive me.
Yeah, that's good. Mine was earlier this morning, right here.
The sunrise and the sunset. And he was saying, oh, it was just talking negative talk. And I just said, Bernard, you have to listen to yourself, because you're talking yourself into a negative space. And the more you repeat it, the more you're just going to be negative, and you have no interest in finding a solution to the problems you keep raising. You just, here's one problem after another. I said, try just to change your language. Why don't you say, okay, yes, there's a lot to do, but let's work together, try and find a solution, and let's try and overcome it. Then you're changing your mind completely on, as opposed to give up. Well, let's give it a shot and try to do it. And I tried that. That's a simple example I can say. If someone's working in a busy, hectic environment, change your language. I had to change my language, even with my own kids. Dad, can I get this? Dad, can I get that? Instead of saying, no, we can't afford it. I'm not going to get, you're never going to get this. I said, okay, yeah, I'd love to get it for you. Well, let's find a way to make it happen.
Absolutely. Language is so key. The spoken word is going to manifest whatever shows up in our life. Like if I'm going to get together with a friend and they say, oh, I can't wait. I'm like, no. You say, I'm looking forward to, versus I can't wait. Like, I can't wait to see you. I say, I'm looking forward to. It's just those tweaks in language. It's like, and I do a lot around fear, and I do a lot around, working with people to transform scarcity mindset or lack mindset. And always language is the key. Well, I can't afford it. There's not enough. There's not enough time, money, energy, resources, knowledge, skills. And I say, well, say, I'm developing it, or I'm choosing not to buy that XYZ at this time because I have other priorities. So I love that. And I love that you say to your kids, what a wonderful thing to teach them and model about, let's find a way. If this is really,
I had to train myself, I had to change. But I went through, to be brutally honest with you, I've went through, because we have to go through the down moments to appreciate the moments. So in my life, I've had the highs, I've had the six figures and the bonuses and going to horse racing events and helicopters and all the fancy stuff and champagne. And I've had the nothing. I've had the liquidation or the bankruptcy. I've been there. I've seen it and I've done it. And I want to help others, because without help, when we're struggling in those down times, it's tough. And if there's no one to listen or help, especially as I was saying, in a macho environment of the construction industry, it's tough. It mentally can be tough and draining. And there's no support group for lads, especially if you go down to the pub. There's no support group.
Yeah, the pub would be the support group. And I'm not going to say that's the healthiest choice, right? If you're burying yourself in that solution. And it is a solution. I wouldn't say this is the most healthy one. And honestly, there's been more stress than ever in the past couple of years because of COVID, because those things that we came to rely on changed so dramatically.
Yeah.
So, that does add extra stress to people. But I really feel you said something that resonated, that awareness. I tell people, if you want to have more joy, happiness, abundance in your life, the number one key that to start with is awareness. When you can become aware of your thinking, of your language, of your behaviors, of your patterns, not even before you change them, but when you become aware, then you have choice. Then you have choice. Like you said, instead of saying we can't afford it, if you're aware that you're saying that, then you say, I have a choice in this moment to reframe and to say, it's not a priority, or let's find a way, or something different. Yeah. So I think awareness is the biggest key.
Yeah, self-awareness is key. And I went through moments of that. And when I got to that point, because there was a time I was blaming everything else. I was blaming my job, I was blaming the employers, I was blaming the world, blaming the government, I was blaming the cat, the dog, the wife, the kids, whatever it was. It's not my fault. But looking, if I go here, this will be better. If I do this, it'll be better. But when I started to get self-aware and realize, well, it's actually me and my approach and my attitude and the way I say things, whatever, I should be able to get myself into a situation that no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, I should be content in what I'm doing and who I'm doing it with or for. Um, and it's a lot of that was changing the mindset, changing the vocabulary, changing the outlook. And when I did that, nothing has changed in my life. Nothing has changed in my life in the sense of, okay, yeah, I've moved to Italy. I'm still working in the similar sort of environment, similar space. But it's changed when I changed, got self-aware and changed me. That's when I got more content. So, still all this stuff around me is still the same. Nothing's changed, but I've changed personally. And as a result, I feel more content.
Yeah. And isn't it amazing how much things change around me when I change? What a coincidence, right? And I think a lot of people I love that you said contentment. I have a client I'm working with, and she decided her goal was to be content. And her struggle is that a lot of people think contentment means settling. Contentment doesn't mean settling. Contentment means I am choosing to be happy in the present moment with what is. It doesn't mean I don't have goals or desires or other things that I want to accomplish, but it means in this very moment, I'm aware and I'm choosing to be happy regardless of those outside circumstances. And, I love when you're talking about blaming everything around me, including the cat and the dog. Blame is easy. Blame is easy because it takes away our responsibility and accountability for our own actions. When we can blame something outside of us, there's no accountability or responsibility. So we don't have to do anything. When we say, oh, maybe in some way I am responsible, or at least I take accountability for where I am, oh, that becomes very uncomfortable for a lot of people. And they're like, where do I go from here other than the pub? Right.
I actually did a 1 year no beer challenge to myself last year, and again another moment of self-awareness. When you focus on your routines, your habits, and various things, you start to be aware. Now, whether that's alcohol or anything else that you can apply that to, that self-awareness changes you, changes your perception, changes your view, and you start to see things slightly differently. So, coming out of your comfort zone, doing something different. All those things, I encourage people to do them. Get out of your comfort zone. Do something strange that you just
try something new. I mean, when we were kids, we loved to do things new. We weren't worried about how we looked or if we failed or, what people said. And, you see kids at weddings dancing like crazy. They're not concerned about everything outside. They're concerned about how they feel inside. So growth lies outside your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's so true. That's so true.
Where we stretch ourselves. That's why when women are pregnant, they call them stretch marks, right? Because they're growing and they're about to birth something new. So if you want to grow and birth something new in your life, you got to get stretch marks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A good analogy.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Pamela, to get into those spaces and those times of calm and reflection and meditation, is there anything that you like to do to seek comfort, solace, relax, that you find beneficial?
Yes, I always work with people on creating a daily practice, whatever their daily practice looks like. Mine includes some meditation, some gratitude, some, connection with, a power greater than myself. Because I'm not in control of all of this. And some people say, oh, they get like jigged up around meditation because they can't sit still. I say, okay, go do a walking meditation. But getting inside yourself or getting into a quiet, silent space for 5 minutes a day, I think is key to starting. So key to starting. Whether it's going outside for a walk, leaving your phone at home, or whether it's sitting in meditation or journaling, or even with the practice of eating. People eat so unconsciously, but being consciously aware. So I say, find something that you love that brings stillness and quiet and a reflection time, and get into that reflective space somehow, whether it's walking, meditation, journaling, yoga, whatever it might be, and do that at least 5 minutes a day. And honestly, the best time is first thing in the morning. Mm-hmm. Everybody can get up 5 minutes earlier. everybody can get up 5 minutes earlier to just have that time that's quiet. And that, because I had this post I put on Instagram, and it's just, when I quiet the noise of the world around me, I can hear the voice of my soul.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You
And
mentioned,
happiness lives within my soul. So if I'm looking for happiness, I'm not looking out there, I'm looking in here.
and you mentioned there on Instagram, where can our listeners find more about you, Pamela, and
Yeah,
learn
sure.
from
On
the tips and tricks?
Instagram, it's Pamela Pearson Official. So Pamela_Pearson_official, PEARSON, or they can search on The Abundance Catalyst and can find me there. Really
Yeah.
talk about a lot of kind of these lessons, which are important to align with. And again, I love that you're doing this work, because some people have the desire, they don't know where to start. Just like you asked, like, well, where do I start? Well, start with 5 minutes of quiet reflection time, whatever it looks like for you every day. And for you, showing, people how they can self-reflect, or how they can ask different questions, or be conscious and be aware by use of language, or modeling for, people in your industry, that it's okay to say I'm stressed. It's okay to say I'm overwhelmed, and not always have to push back and be strong.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know?
the big strong man. I'm okay. And then
Man,
you go home and you just break down.
yeah.
Cry to yourself.
And I think in some ways, I remember this was 10 or 15 years ago. I was bowling with some friends, and there was a young boy, maybe 7 years old, in the lane next to me with his mother, and he threw his ball, and it bounced out of his lane into mine, into the gutter, and down. And he got all upset, and he started crying. And his mother came over, and the first thing she said to him was, "Don't cry." She didn't mean any harm. But when we're expressing emotion that's appropriate for a situation, and we're taught as young children, oh, don't cry, brush it off, you'll be okay. I think that we learn, oh, okay, this isn't an appropriate emotion to express. So I think it's my father, when my father was ill before he passed, he wrote his own eulogy, and I'll never forget, he said in his eulogy, crying is good for the soul.
Absolutely.
And I truly believe that.
Sometimes, yeah, absolutely. Because sometimes you consider, when was the last time you cried, but when you actually do, it releases something, whether it's just stress in life or whatever. Laughing, crying, go with the flow of the moment. We're not robots,
Yeah.
We're people with emotions. We got to go with it.
Yeah, express it.
Pamela, I could continue talking to you all day, and I'm conscious of your time. I'd like to finish up with two simple questions, and they're up to you how you answer them. Pamela, what are you grateful for?
I am really grateful for my experience in life. I am truly grateful for all of the emotions and feelings and journey that I've been on, but what I've experienced and how I can reflect back on that and then be in service to others in the world. Like you're talking about modeling. I'm truly grateful for my experience here on this earth in this physical body, because I believe that I am spirit, I am something beyond that, but I am truly grateful for all of the ups and downs on the roller coaster, and to be able to then step forward into service, with a servant leader's heart, to say, I've been there, let me show you how, let me extend my hand, let me lead you forward, because there's others before me who have extended their hand and led me forward. So if we can all just outstretch a hand and really unite as a community, energetically, physically, emotionally, around this world, there's so much healing and there's so much joy and happiness we can bring forth. So for me, my gratitude just extends in the service that I've been given from others, the experiences that I've had, and how I can extend my hand in reach to bring a word. If somebody could get one nugget out of our conversation today that they take forward, that lights me up. That's what I'm grateful for.
And I'm grateful for your response, because the other question I was going to ask you, which I'm not, is how you're making the world better. I think you just described it.
Yeah.
Helping others. And if someone else has helped us, and if we can reflect that by helping others, and we get that loop going with as many people as possible, we're going to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
Little bits of help here and there, and ultimately, I would confirm what you're saying about if we want to make ourselves happy, if that's something we want to do, one of the little secrets is try to make someone else happy. And in so doing, so you will make yourself happy, and they're happy, and then someone else happy. Will spread the love.
Biggest way that I can make myself happy is to be in service to somebody else. When I can get out of myself, I don't have many pity parties anymore, but when I can get out of myself, my selfish, self-centered, or my roller coaster thoughts, when I can be in service to somebody else, that's what brings joy and happiness into my life.
See, what was that? A pity party? Pity parties are cancelled.
Pity party. Cancel the pity parties. No pity party.
Fantastic. Pamela, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I really appreciate your time. So from me in Italy,
an honor and a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me and sharing this with your community. Happy to connect with you and serve at any way and any time. And I really honor the work that you're doing to bring this forth. You are just a big light in the world, and your service is truly honorable. So thank you.
No, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Pamela.